I heard that Lon and her group through a device called the timestamp. No nonsense, let's get straight to the point. These are 12 words engraved on the timestamp. They are respectively color, purity, laughter, and bathing. Wind, emerald, charm, and fragrance. Lie, one, courtyard, and yen. What are the special meaning of these words? There's no rush to interpret it here. Let's take a look at another puzzle. Apart from the doubts about the timeline, there are other plot points in this episode. It's about the 4 totems left behind in the ruins. Why are there 4 totems instead of other numbers? There were actually 5 devices in the ruins. Let's review the plot. It was discovered that at the moment when the devices were activated, it was different from before when only one totem would light up. All of the totems lit up with their patterns. So there was no additional information in the last device. These 4 totems. Xiao Feng also studied them for a long time. At first glance, he couldn't get any information from them. After a closer look, he still couldn't find any clues. But if we look at it from a different perspective, there will be additional discoveries. The 4 totems changed direction. The image will become more like a painting. It can be interpreted now. Okay, let's go back to the timestamp for now. The timestamp was brought by Lon and Canro from the Domain 9. The original body was made of black stone, or it could be said that it was made of black jade. Black stone is also widely distributed in ancient ruins. For example, the Confounding Abyss and the ruins in the new plot. But besides that, in the plot, we also learned an important piece of information. The Hive Mother is imprisoned in a black stone cage. Abyssant is a monster with temporal and spatial fluctuations. It is precisely because black stone can exert influence on time and space that the Hive Mother can be imprisoned. There are 2 aspects to the influence of black stone on time and space. On the one hand, the existence of black stone can make time and space more distorted. On the other hand, the black stone can also make time and space tend to be stable. Based on the above 2 properties, they correspond respectively to the ruins of the new plot and the era of time. The new ruins have been exerting an influence on the underwater space. This has caused it to be in an unstable state. It is precisely for this reason that the Hive Mother has taken notice of the underwater space. She has also opened a passage for the abyss currents here. However, the Hive Mother was deceived. All of this was a scheme. It was a shocking plan from an ancient civilization. My viewers who have been watching my live stream all know that I have always been very conflicted about this new ruin. Why is that? Because its function is very suspicious. The existence of the new ruin will make the time and space unstable. So it can allow the Hive Mother to create even larger abyss currents. And then more gray space entities can be transported to the Domain 9 to rescue themselves. Does it sound like? Is the new ruin actually helping the Hive Mother instead? If there is no help from Rubilia, we wouldn't have discovered the new ruin. And because of its existence, we have no way to close the abyss current. Over time, more ashen corpses will be transported. The Hive Mother is also likely to be freed because of this. The existence of the new ruins seems more like an assistance to the Hive Mother. But we also know that the ancient civilization was a force that fought against the Hive Mother. The Hive Mother also has ancient hatred towards the ancient civilization. Moreover, the battle between the 2 sides has spread from the planet Ida to the Domain 9. And eventually, the Hive Mother was sealed in the Blackstone cage. How could such an ancient civilization help the Hive Mother? So, all of this has to start with the opening of the Celestial Gate. From Land's mouth, we learned that the Domain 9 is a closed space. The outside world cannot detect the existence of the Domain 9. Moreover, it is protected by a barrier of time and space. The barrier can prevent the gray area from rescuing the Hive Mother. At the same time, it also prevents people in the Domain 9 from going to the outside world. But all of this changed one day. That's right, the Celestial Gate opened. A passage to the outside world appeared in the Domain 9. Abyss currents are not uncommon in the Domain 9. But in the past, they couldn't become passages for the Celestial Gate. So what happened on the day when the Celestial Gate opened? It was the Hive Mother who opened up the abyss current at the bottom of the sea. We learned this when we rescued Rubilia. The Hive Mother was attracted by something at the bottom of the sea. Actually, it was the unstable spacetime created by the new ruins. And this is exactly the safety device left by the ancient civilization. Once the Hive Mother opened up the abyss current at the bottom of the sea, it meant that the Hive Mother was about to break free. There is a risk of the seal being broken. At this time, the Celestial Gate of the Domain 9 will open. Let the people of the Domain 9 seek help from the outside world. Someone may wonder that the timing is not right. Lon came from the abyss current of the Somerset Isle. At that time, there was nothing happened in the sea yet. But do we really know the exact time when the abyss current will open? Just like the abyss current of Somerset Isle. When we arrive at the seaside and meet with the Mook squad. Shiro was just saying that the instrument detected an anomaly. She needed to deal with it. At that time, the Somerset Isle had already had the abyss current. The reason why the Hive Mother did this was to divert attention. Using the abyss current of Somerset Isle as bait to attract Inar's forces. Secretly opening up the abyss current hidden under the sea. Since it's a diversion tactic, the time between the opening of the 2 abyss currents will not be very long. Otherwise, it won't have the desired attraction effect. In other words, on the day when the Domain 9 Celestial Gate is opened, it will be the time when the abyss currents open up in the sea. Then let's boldly speculate. What exactly happened in the past? There was a great battle between the ancient civilization and the leader of the gray space, the Hive Mother. The battle was so intense that it plunged the world in darkness with no sun or moon in sight. The ancient civilization relied on the power of the Omnium to separate the Domain 9. Or perhaps they found a spacetime where the Domain 9 exists. As the final battlefield for the decisive battle against the Hive Mother. Both sides engaged in a fierce battle. After paying a heavy price, the Hive Mother was finally suppressed in the Domain 9. To prevent it from escaping, the ancient civilization sealed off the Domain 9 with a spacetime barrier to prevent it from escaping. They also left descendants to guard the sealed land. However, the era is now too distant. Few of their descendants know the truth behind it. After suppressing the Hive Mother, in order to prevent the Hive Mother, controlled the Ashen Gray Space entity to rescue it. The ancient civilization took the remaining Ashen Gray Space entity back to the Ada Star, and suppressed them in the Confounding Abyss. Finally, it also built a black stone ruin underwater. As a security preparation, the ancient civilization knows the Hive Mother has power, will definitely activate the Abyss Current, and let the remaining Ashen Gray Space entity save her. But there is no way to know where the Hive Mother will open the Abyss Current. However, it is possible to find a way to induce. Where will the Hive Mother open the Abyss Current? So one of the functions of the ruins is to cause temporal and spatial instability. This has an irresistible attraction to the Hive Mother. The unstable temporal and spatial conditions mean that the Abyss Current can be opened on a larger scale. It can also transport more Gray Space entity troops. Judging from the result, the Hive Mother did take the bait. Another function of the ruins is to record and monitor. Coincidentally, the next generation of civilization after the ancient civilization happens to belong to the Earth colonizers. The ruins have been observing human actions all along. However, the use of omnium caused the gray space to revive again. The crisis is about to break out. Fortunately, the ancient civilization safety device has been activated. The sealed land of the Domain 9 has also established contact with the outside world. Next, it remains to be seen whether both sides can work together to suppress the Hive Mother once again. Do you feel like it's a fairy tale? Let's take a look at the totem in the new ruins. This is the first totem to enter the ruins. There is an eye in the lower right corner. It represents the power of the gray space entity. What about the bottom left corner? Let's rotate the picture. Looking at it this way, the eye and the circle on the right look like two heads. Pay attention to the image in the middle. The pillar-like object looks more like a kind of gemstone. Both sides are fighting over it. This is speculated to be the reason for the ancient civilization's war with the gray space entity. Judging from the surrounding lines, one can also feel the madness and disorder. Let's take a look at the second picture. There is an eye at the bottom. The main image is a scene. A hand slowly reaches out from behind the scene. Let's rotate the picture again. You will notice that the eye above has turned into a skull. A creepy body is also pieced together at the bottom. I speculate that this is the Hive Mother. But it looks too abstract. The hand at the bottom has also become clearer. There is also a face connected behind the arm. He is hiding behind the scene, trying to steal the pillar in the middle. Next is the third totem. When we reach this totem, Lynn mentioned Meroria. I don't know why, but it reminds me of Meroria. Meroria is also built upon the confounding abyss. However, it's obvious that we can't see this information on the map. Let's rotate it first as usual. We found out that it's a mirror image. It doesn't seem to be useful. Then let's rotate it less. Let's rotate it 90 degrees. It looks much clearer from this angle. The outer sphere represents the planet Ida. The triangle above represents Meroria. The diamond in the middle refers to the black stone ritual grounds. The outline of the eyes on the periphery represents the gray space entity. Do you remember the structure of the third city besides this? The confounding abyss is located exactly in the middle of the upper and lower levels. This also explains why the entire map is mirrored vertically. The only thing that is not clear is what the pattern inside the diamond represents. There are also symbolic symbols inside. Could it be the 6 abyss remnants that are suppressed in the confounding abyss? Next is the last totem. Shirley said it looks like tentacles. Those tentacles, aren't they gray space entity? It refers to the spiral pattern inside the center of the circle. This is not an eye. It is a tentacle curled up and hidden in the hole. Lynn said the totem represents the development and evolution of the gray space entity. Does it mean the development and evolution of the gray space entity? It refers to the patterns printed around it. The symbols on the outermost circle represent the basic units of the gray space entity. The symbols on the middle circle represent the advanced abyss ant. However, it is indeed a bit abstract. As for relationship, Lynn said, grow, stretch, cover, devour. We still need to rotate the image. If the lines below represent growth, then the lines above represent expansion, coverage, and invasion. From bottom to top, the social class also increases in order. At the very top is the Hive Mother. Equally abstract. Apart from this information, there are also rectangular lines in the picture. What does this mean? Keep watching. In Domain 9, we think this means repression and sealing. Lon said it's about suppression and sealing. The corresponding image here is the rectangular pattern. They are drawn magic circles. Now they are covering the gray space entity. They represent suppression and sealing. With these 4 totems, we pretty much know what's going on. The first totem depicts the conflict between the ancient civilization and the gray space entity. They fought fiercely for the gemstone. The second totem shows the ancient civilization in a certain place. They stole the energy column of the Hive Mother. The third totem is about the observation of Earth civilization. It depicts the suspended Meroria in the confounding abyss. The last one is an introduction to the Ashen Dominion and the suppression and sealing of the Ashen Dominion. Is that all? There's more. After activating the 5 devices, the totem starts to light up. Here's a criticism of the official. They definitely took a shortcut. Originally, all 4 should have been fully lit up. Why is the same pattern lighting up here instead? Do they really think players wouldn't notice? I really couldn't tell. But the TOF plot scholars are different. The animation is played frame by frame. I hope Tower Fantasy will pay attention to it in the future. Don't always try to take shortcuts. Want to make a good game? The details must be polished to perfection. Have you seen this picture? 4 identical ones. Openly lazy. The movement of the device here also has great significance. It's not gathering towards the center in all directions. Instead, it is concentrated from one side to the other end. It means traveling from the past to the future. Finally, the last totem is manifested. Where did this totem come from? Let's rewind the time back. At the same time the device is activated, these patterns appear at the top of the device. And they are eventually converged into one place by the movement of the device, forming the final pattern. Unfortunately, I didn't find any relevant clues in the game. If you find any, please leave a comment in the comment section. But that doesn't stop us from making some guesses. The ruins here exist in a parallel dimension. The past, present, and future coexist together. If we haven't seen these patterns in the past and present, then they might be clues from the future. The patterns here are different from the 4 totems of the device. The totem is a complete picture. It tells us information in the form of images, whereas these patterns here are a type of symbol. They may represent a person or an object, or a location or a certain power. They may be the key to sealing the Hive Mother in the future. They may also be clues that we need to find when we go to the Domain 9. The pattern eventually evolved into a black hole. The ruins no longer exist. At the same time, the influence of the ruins on the underwater spacetime was also eliminated. It has already fulfilled its mission. Do you still remember how the ruins were activated? It was Lon who activated it using the timestamp, and Lon comes from the Domain 9. The moment when the ruins were activated, it indicated that the safety device has been activated. The Domain 9 have already requested assistance from the outside world. Naturally, it no longer has a reason to exist. With this, the contingency plan left behind by the ancient civilization has also temporarily come to an end. But in order to deal with the escape of the Hive Mother, The ancient civilization would not have only left behind the safety device. The pattern displayed at the end may be the ultimate weapon left behind in the Domain 9. It can help us defeat the Hive Mother once again. A shocking layout, a millennium of preparation. No wonder Lin feels fearful of the ancient civilization. Follow Xiaofeng. Take you to experience a different